And the head coach is Rob Keefe, and he joins us on the Monday show. Good morning, Coach.
Gentlemen, good to see you on this Monday morning.
No question, Coach. Congrats on the victory. Team continues to play well, and you certainly put it all together again, and you beat Baltimore, and now you sit this Monday tied for first place.
Yep, tied for first place, and right now, so if the playoffs were to start right now, we'd have the number one seed. What separates us is the fact that we won by 5 more points than they beat us. So they beat us by 3, we beat them by 8. So there's your 5-point difference, but yeah, it can't get much closer than that.
You had a wild game too, right? 4 ties and 7 lead changes against Baltimore on Saturday night.
Yeah, they're a good team, and so I think that the biggest thing is when we talked about, throughout the whole week is about composure, about playing with great poise, playing with great focus, and really just executing, but managing those highs and lows, managing all the ebbs and flows of the games. And, there's going to be times where they're going to score. There's going to be times where they're going to spike the ball in your face. There's going to be times where they're going to get on you. Can we manage and handle that adversity? And I was super proud that the guys were able to buckle down in the fourth quarter and just focus on our duties and responsibilities.
Coach, when this Albany franchise was announced, we all kind of took the approach of, well, this is an expansion franchise, need to give this team time in order to win games, and so by year 3, maybe we can start talking about a team that's an actual contender. What we didn't realize really at the time was that the recruiting process that took place, you being at the forefront of that and the people that surround you in order to get some of these great players here, how have you been able to live up to your own lofty expectations you set for this team?
Yeah, I think, when you set expectations high, you better make sure you have a plan to put that in place. And so, the minute that we talked about championship, the minute that we talked about, hey, this is everything that we want to accomplish, well, then, hey, we got to back it up. And so for me, unlike the NFL, this is not, a draft. This is a recruiting situation. So much like any new coach that goes to a college, how can you get good really quick? Normally when you go to a college and you take over, it's because things were not at a level of expectation or did not exceed expectations or meet those standards. So how can you instantly change the culture? How can you instantly get new recruits in? Well, a lot of times when you take over someplace new, it's tough. And I was in that coaching transition when I was in college, and they're kind of weeding guys out when they're bringing guys in, slow process because you still have holdovers and there's poor culture and you got to change that. For us, what I loved about this was, we knew what we were going to have here from the ownership group, and we knew we had a great front office put together. So let's put together a great situation with a great coaching staff that has great connections, that know how to sell, that know how to communicate well, that know how to coach. On top of that, let's realize that this is a completely new roster, so we don't have to weed out guys. We don't have to change culture. We can create all that right now. So we did a great job of selling it. I'm just glad that all this is coming into fruition. I'm glad that the city has backed us, the sponsors have backed us. I think it's all about what we did at the beginning to sell everybody on the idea of what this could be, and everybody has bought in. Media's bought in, fans have bought in, the players have bought in, everybody involved in this, and now it's we go from here.
Yeah, you didn't have a TV coaches show until last week.
I know, right? Yeah, it's about time, right?
All of a sudden, it's like, well, we're going to do a coaches show and bring in Rob Keefe, and it was, and we got it off and running last week, and then we'll continue with you and Malachi coming to our studio on Wednesday night for the Albany Empire Express, which is on WNYA, My 4 Friday nights at 7, and then Saturday mornings at 11:30. Get 2 versions of it before we get you to kick off on Saturday night. Coach, was there a little controversy in the game right at the end of the first half? They recovered an onside kick, and then it was reversed?
Yeah, so they did a good job. So basically, the point is this. So the coaching point is you're not allowed to block below the waist on any change of possession. So I was at fault of that in college one time where we had an interception return, and I went and I cut the quarterback. Any change of possession is going to be a penalty. So any special team or any time there is a fumble or an interception return, you cannot block below the waist. And so pretty much what we were arguing was when it was an onside kick, the player for their team went really low on our player. I was arguing that it was a block below the waist for them to recover the football. He wasn't blocking below the waist. He was diving for the football. That's why they picked the flag up, because they said he was going for the ball. He didn't intentionally block below the waist. So I was hoping, actually that was the correct call. I was trying to work it there in our favor a little bit. But yeah, we didn't recover the ball. what we did was we sat there and we waited for the football. We should have attacked to the football. We should have got to them before they got to us. That's the coaching point. And they had a big guy that got to us really quick and laid us out, and they were able to recover the football. Fortunately enough for us, while we have this guy here on the very next play, Terrence Moore was able to, cause a fumble for us to get that ball back. That was probably, in my opinion, the biggest play of the game, because not only did they steal a possession from us, they would have scored last to end the half, and then they actually would have got the ball back first in the second half. That could have been a huge 21-point swing because we would have not saw the ball back because of the halftime there. So that was an enormous play, one of the best plays of the week for us, but very, very happy that we were able to get that ball back. It didn't hurt us in the long run.
We've already said it, Rob, that you'll play Baltimore again this coming weekend. It'll be the third time this season. Is there any mystery left when you're in a 4-team league? Do you hold any cards back knowing you're going to coach against the same team a second straight week?
Well, every time you're doing different stuff, and I tell you what, who said it best last night? I take everything from coaches and media personalities and, every walks of life. You learn how to do this as a coach. You gotta, be passionate, enthusiastic in everything you do, but you also are learning from other people and other professions. So Doris Burke last night, when she was interviewing Steph Curry, she brought up the point about how sometimes familiarity creates contempt. And so when you play a team over and over again, you start really hating that person, and you start really hating that team. You start really hating the guy that you start to just learn to just not like him because you're always going against him. It's like a boxing match, right? This is the third time that Pacquiao, like Mayweather, fought each other. They're going to start really hating each other. So for us, we want to make sure that we just control what we can control, not get so emotional about the game, focus on the duties and the tasks at hand. There's going to be new wrinkles from both sides, right? There's things that we're both holding back because we know we're both getting better as a team. But, our job is just to stay focused and to, just do our jobs. And, I know that sounds so cliche, but that's really what it gets down to. At the end of the day, it's football. Do your job. Make sure you beat the man in front of you. Make sure that you're handling your responsibility on the field so everybody around the team can trust you. And, ultimately, the success will speak for itself.
Rob, how's the energy been in the building? I mean, you had 13-6 the first night, and then you had a little over 10, and our last 2 home games been right around 8,000. How's the energy been? What's the feel like right now with the Albany crowd?
I tell you what I love about it is these people are passionate. I love the fact that they're rowdy. That's my kind of style of football. They're just rowdy. They're excitable, and I know what the deal is, right? It's nice outside. Like, right, this is a climate and an environment that unfortunately had a long winter. Spring wasn't that nice, and then all of a sudden it hit some of these 80-degree days, and then you're saying, hey, I got to go outside. So I know it's just a matter of time before fans, the whole community, the whole region recognizes, hey, look, there's only 7 more weeks of this thing left. We're going to start playing teams in the playoffs. We're going to start playing in the championships, and these games are going to get back up to 13,500, 14,000 people in the building because, hey, they won't be able to see us until next February or March or whenever we start the season. So it's just a matter of time before we get it. But the ones that do come, even though it's 8,000, 9,000, it's rowdy. It's a ruckus. They're really giving it to the other fans. They're knowledgeable about the game. We still have to teach people and to understand why we onside kick and why we do what we do. It's a possession game, and we got to steal one here or there. We got to make sure we're the last team to score. But they're starting to really understand the game, and I tell you what, everybody that comes out, we'll give them a show.
Coach, keep up the great work. Nice win. Look forward to seeing you guys in our studio at WNYT on Wednesday night. We'll record the second edition of the Albany Empire Express.
Awesome, guys. Hey, thanks so much for having us on, and we'll see you soon.